Good morning, Mega Podlings. It's Krazy Joe, live on a Monday night. And is this thing framed well? I'll tell you, I can never get... I don't know. See, I feel like I could stand up, then I gotta keep I don't know. I need a better size tripod, I suppose, because I can't really sit down. I can't really stand up. I'm not framed well. Hello, Boredom Strikes. How are you? Hello, Ryan. Yes, impromptu live stream. I did not expect to be doing this tonight, but you know, my TV unexpectedly broke last night. Unexpectedly broke. Went to turn on the TV. Nothing. Wasn't really in the market for a new TV, and now suddenly I'm in the market for a new TV. It happened literally overnight because the TV worked the one day, and then the next day the TV didn't work. Don't know what happened. It's not getting any power. No power is coming to the TV. I've tried it in different electric sockets. I don't know. My plan was to catch up on some of the shows that I'm way behind on, but I won't be doing that today. Yeah, I'm not too happy about it. I wish I could get a tripod that was of a different size, because I don't really feel like standing the whole time, but if I sit down, you're just going to kind of get my head. Maybe the problem is not the tripod. Maybe the problem is that I'm freakishly tall. Maybe I should be smaller. Maybe that's the problem. I love the Halloween movies. I hate the third Halloween movie. I got to disagree with you. The third Halloween movie is my favorite. I actually wish that the sequels had continued on that route of doing the anthology thing. I thought that was a pretty clever idea. You know, I don't know if I'm the world's biggest fan of the Halloween movies with Michael Myers, though. The first one's a classic. The second one's pretty good. I really like H2O. And I saw the new one a second time, and I liked it better the second time. But I still don't think it's anywhere near as good as H2O. But I think the bulk of the Michael Myers movies, I'm not really crazy about. They're okay. 4 and 5 kind of leave me cold. So I don't know. Maybe I'm not the best one to judge the Halloween movies because I don't think Michael Myers is really my thing. Halloween 3 just feels Halloweenier to me. Like it feels like everything is very Halloweeny. I'm sorry. Is your Star Trek collection complete with all the movies and series? Yes. Yes, it is. Hang on. How do I had to pull the chat up to read that, and now I can't get rid of the chat. Sorry. This was an impromptu live stream because I can't watch TV, and I'm like, yeah, Cinema Sickness just ended. I'll go live. And my wife's asleep because I was out hunting for a new TV, so she had to take both kids with her to my daughter's scout meeting, and handling both of them is exhausting. The sixth one was bad. Are we talking about Star Trek or Halloween now? Because if we're talking about Halloween, I'll agree with you. If we're talking about Star Trek, I gotta disagree. The sixth one is one of my favorites. I'm not a fan of 6, but Halloween, okay. Let me tell you guys a story here. Twinkie the Kid Funko Pop. This is the second one I own. I own 2 of these now, and there's a reason for that. I pre-ordered this on Amazon, and no offense, but I'm going to disregard the questions just for a second so I can get through the end of this story. I pre-ordered this on Amazon through a company on Amazon, a third-party seller on Amazon called NYC Collectibles, and it was a pre-order, and they said it wasn't going to get to me until December 9th. December 9th. So after waiting a little bit, I noticed that Amazon proper, like real Amazon, not one of their third-party sellers, had it in stock for $1 cheaper, and they told me they could have it to me within 2 days with Prime shipping. And these guys still, you know, have my pre-order for December 9th. So I was like, well, why am I going to wait till December 9th when I could order it right from Amazon for $1 cheaper and have it in 2 days? So I order it from Amazon, and I write to the other guy and I say, cancel my order. Well, this guy, within minutes of me placing the cancel order, he sends me a shipping notification and writes back, sorry, can't cancel your order, it already shipped. This thing was showing is it's not coming till December 9th. He sends a shipping notification as soon as I ask for it to cancel. And then says we can't cancel it. It's coming, it's already on the way. I'm like, well, that seems odd. So I get the one from Amazon, it comes, but this one, the guy said he couldn't cancel it. I'm thinking, no big deal. I'll just return it when it gets here. 7 days pass. 7 days later, I still haven't got this. I checked this shipping, and it's marked as the post office hasn't received it yet. It's been marked as shipped, but the post office hasn't received it yet. And I said, that son of a bitch didn't actually ship the item. He marked it as shipped and told me it's shipped just so he could avoid canceling my item. He didn't really ship it. So I write to the guy. He fights with me for a week. Finally, after 2 days after I called him on it, and it's already 7 days have passed, so now we're at like 9 days, he really ships it. And I kept telling him, cancel it. I know you didn't ship it. I know you didn't ship it. Just cancel it. And he keeps saying, no, already shipped. Already shipped. I'm like, what the heck? So today it comes. I've reported this guy to Amazon. Apparently, you read his feedback. That's his go-to maneuver. He always marks things as shipped that he hasn't shipped. And he wrote to me and told me, if you want to return it, you can return it, but you have to pay the return shipping, and I'm going to subtract from your refund a 25% restocking fee. Yeah, no. I reported this guy to Amazon. Amazon said the item, when you get it, you can keep it. And they refunded my money. And they said this guy's going to be reprimanded. But I just wanted to publicly shame this guy. Something I don't usually do that. But this guy was such a disreputable seller. I felt the need. So if you're ordering from a third-party seller on Amazon, do not buy from NYC Collectibles. If you see NYC Collectibles, run. This guy is shady as they come, and he's kind of a jerk. Hey, Zach, how are you? That's my story. I hope that wasn't boring. But I thought I'd share. So I now have 2 Twinkie the Kid Funko Pops. I don't know what I'm going to do with the second one. Maybe one will go on my desk at work. So it's Monday. What do we talk about? I guess the #1 movie in America is Bohemian Rhapsody. I hear it's good. Gotta be honest, not really anxious to see it. NY Collectibles is giving my hometown a bad name. Boredom Strikes. Are you in Tucson? Are you in New York, Boredom Strikes? Because believe it or not, NYC Collectibles is based out of Tucson. I know you would think New York, but they're actually based out of Tucson, oddly enough. So they shouldn't give you a bad name. They should give Tucson, Arizona a bad name. It does make it worse. Yes, it does. Anybody seen Project Alf, and is it worth picking up? I own it, and it is worth picking up because it's the end of the series, more or less, because the series ends on a cliffhanger, and you kind of need Project Alf to see how the story ends. What is going on here? That's why I always say honesty's the best policy. Yes, I agree. Project Alf, Boredom Strikes. The TV series Alf ran for 4 seasons on NBC, and it ended on a cliffhanger. I actually interviewed Paul Fusco, the creator of Alf. You can find my interview with Paul Fusco on this channel if you look for it. We do talk about Alf and Project Alf. So let me plug myself. As Cinema Sickness and Rick were giving me a hard time for last week, check out my interview with Paul Fusco from a couple of years ago. But anyway, the show ran for 4 years, and they thought they were getting a fifth season, but the show was going to change in the fifth season. The human cast, Willie and Kate and all them, they didn't like doing the show anymore. And also, in addition to them not liking doing the show anymore, Paul Fusco kind of felt that they had run out of storylines of Alf living with the family. So they were going to change the show in season 5. And the plan was he gets captured by the alien task force and he's going to be living on an Air Force base. That was going to be season 5. NBC axed the show between seasons. So it ends on a cliffhanger where Alf gets kidnapped by the alien task force. They catch him. And that's the end of the series. So 6 years passed, and ABC commissioned a made-for-TV movie called Project Alf that picked up where the series left off and told what happened to Alf after the alien task force caught him. So fans were waiting 6 years to find out what happened next to Alf, and we finally got to find out. Funny story about Project Alf. Several years ago, early 2000s, a friend decided he wanted to get together and watch like cheesy movies that kind of were 80s inspired. And we chose 2 movies. One of them was called The Toughest Man in the World, starring Mr. T. We watched The Toughest Man in the World, and the other movie we chose was Project Alf, which actually came out in 1996. But you know, Alf kind of ties in with the 80s. So even though that movie wasn't from the 80s, those were our 2 choices. The Toughest Man in the World with Mr. T and Project Alf. So we're watching The Toughest Man in the World, and it opens up directed by Dick Lowry. I don't know who Dick Lowry is, but he directed The Toughest Man in the World. That I can tell you. So we watched The Toughest Man in the World. A cheesy good time. If you can find it, I highly recommend it. And the next thing we put on is Project Alf. Wouldn't you know it, directed by Dick Lowry. Not intentional, but we happened to choose probably 2 of the finest films from Dick Lowry's repertoire. I looked them up after the fact. Apparently, they were both made for TV movies. Apparently, he did a couple theatrical films, including Smokey and the Bandit 3. So, Joe, when is the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe movie trailer going to come out? I don't know if they've started shooting that movie yet. That's one of those movies I'm not going to believe it until I see it, because they've been trying to get that movie off the ground forever. For absolutely ever. They've been trying to get a Masters movie going. And I don't know. I've lost faith. I don't think it's going to happen. We'll see. Supposedly, I think Sony has the rights right now. He-Man movie done correctly could be awesome. I agree. The director of Kick-Ass 2, whose name's escaping me at the moment, I apologize. He was for a while attached to do a He-Man movie, and they didn't go with his take, so he's out now. But I heard an interview with him, and I really would have liked to seen his take, because he compared it to Guardians of the Galaxy. He said, like, yeah, it could be comedic and it could be kind of silly, but you can't make fun of the characters. Like, Guardians of the Galaxy is funny, but the stakes are real. Like, the Jeff Wadlow, thank you, it was Jeff Wadlow. I was really disappointed Jeff Wadlow didn't do the Masters movie, because when I heard his take on how he wanted to do it, I thought, man, this guy is perfect. He's absolutely perfect. Because too many people want to make fun of He-Man. And you can make it funny and have fun with it, but He-Man shouldn't be the butt of the joke. It should be sincere, it should be earnest, and the comedy should come from the situation, not... Yeah, Guardians did it right. Guardians did it right. We weren't like making fun of Rocket Raccoon and Groot, but they were funny, you know? So I think Wadlow, man, he had the perfect take. Is Gremlins still on track? I keep hearing that it is, and I keep hearing that it's a remake, and I keep hearing that it is a sequel. Depending on who you talk to and when you talk to them, they're saying both. So I don't know if Gremlins 3 is Gremlins 3 or if it's Gremlins the remake, because the story keeps changing, quite frankly. Gremlins is one of my favorite movies. So I'm totally on board. Hey, look who I have with me right over here. Hello! There's a little stripe. I won him on the Wildwood Boardwalk several years ago. So I thought that was odd that a gremlin would be a prize on the Wildwood Boardwalk just a few years ago because of how old this movie is, but he was. So Stripe is back with me at the space bar here. I don't know if my voice sounds okay. I feel like I'm getting sick. I'm getting a bit of a sore throat. So I keep drinking water, keep taking cough drops. Do I sound okay? So what else? What else should we talk about? What did Dave and Rick talk about? I missed most of their live stream because I was out trying to buy a TV. I didn't buy one. We've got a few possibilities. I replaced my Gremlins Blu-ray. The new Gremlins Blu-ray with the... I got the pop. I do have the Gremlins pop, but I didn't get the one that came with the Blu-ray. I think my Gremlins Blu-ray is the 3-pack with Goonies. Excuse me, I'm going to clean my glasses. They're dirty. My daughter keeps touching my glasses, and they get really dirty. No sooner have I cleaned them when she's grabbing my glasses again. It's almost like a bad joke. Hey, look what I got right here. This is the disc that Cinema Sickness gave me from his unboxing the other night. And yeah, so still here on the bar. Get a curved 4K TV. Well, you know, eventually. Are you going for a 65-inch Joe? Not yet. Not yet. I have a plan. I had a plan in place for getting a new TV. The plan was to get a new TV. I'm sitting down. This is going to be awkward. Oh, I'm sorry. Look, you just get my head now. I'm sorry. I had to sit down. See, my throat's bothering me. My plan was to buy a new TV in 2021. That was the plan because my daughter will kind of be getting out of daycare then. Daycare costs are so expensive. And we have a couple loans that are going to be paid off by then. So suddenly in 2021, our finances are going to look a lot different. So my plan was get a new TV in 2021. And my plan was big, giant, big-ass 4K. I wanted to get something really nice in 2021. So I just needed this to last me 2 more years, and it didn't. Now I can't really afford what I wanted to planned for 2021. I can't afford that now. So I just need something to fill in for a couple of years, and I don't know. I don't know what we're doing yet. We have a couple options on the table. Tonight was more or less about research. Yeah, Rick hasn't been feeling so good. That's a shame. He's a good guy. I love Rick. Mike Crawford is asking about the Enterprise. This is a toy from Diamond. It's the Star Trek II Enterprise, and it actually plays dialogue from the movie when you press a button, except the battery's dead. It was actually a Christmas gift several years ago. What are your feelings on tobacco-themed movies? I don't know what that means. I like Thank You for Smoking with Aaron Eckhart. Does that count? It's a pretty good movie. I kept asking David and Rick, The Neighbor. Hang on, I lost that. Wait, oh. I kept on asking David and Rick, The Neighbor, and he answered me, but there's a new movie. They never answered me. What's the name of the movie? The Neighbor is the name of the movie? I haven't heard of that movie. Is The Neighbor the title? Because I haven't heard of it, but I'll look it up later, definitely. Somebody in my comments recently, and I apologize for not remembering names, but it's just my brain's been fried lately. My brain has just been fried because Kira is just running wild, and I've been tired lately. I've been very tired. But someone asked me my thoughts on Carol Spinney retiring, Big Bird. And I've had the pleasure of meeting Carol Spinney 3 times at conventions. I was on the set of Sesame Street last November, which is just one of the most amazing experiences of my entire life. And Carol Spinney was not there. Carol Spinney has not been performing in the Big Bird costume day to day in about 3 years. He's just not physically able to do it. He's you know, he's in a wheelchair. He just can't do it anymore. But he's been still going in every now and then to provide voiceovers. And I think the main reason he was doing that was because they wanted to get him to season 50. Like, I think he really wanted to retire at season 50. And unfortunately, he physically couldn't perform anymore, so they've been allowing him to do voiceover work basically to get him to season 50. And now he has retired. So, but yeah, it really isn't going to be that much of a change than it has been for the last few years, because he hasn't been performing Big Bird on set in about 3 years. Matt Vogel, who's the current Kermit the Frog, is performing Big Bird now, and he was on set as Big Bird the day I was there. I got a picture with him, and he's wearing the Big Bird pants in the picture. But much like you're seeing me now, it was from the waist up, so you can't actually see the Big Bird pants in the picture. Kind of wish you could. Kind of wish you could. But he probably framed it that way on purpose. They had a rule on the set of Sesame Street that was no sleeping Muppets were allowed to be photographed. If a Muppet wasn't up and awake and talking, you couldn't take a picture. So I guess seeing Matt Vogel half in Big Bird pants kind of is on the same level. Wow, my throat really hurts. I hope I'm not getting too sick. I feel like I'm getting sick. I've been looking for a Princess Leia autograph. It's hard to get. Yeah, Princess Leia, I got an autograph there. She's really lazy these days. She doesn't do a lot of conventions. I don't know what her problem is. She's got to stop being so lazy and get out there and do some more cons. Day I met her, I don't know if you know this about Carrie Fisher. She's kind of famous for it, though, especially on the convention scene. But Carrie Fisher loves glitter. And it's called Dip Run. Okay? I'll look for it. Dip Run. But Carrie Fisher loves glitter. And she would go to these conventions and have a big pile of glitter next to her. And she would sign an autograph and she would put glitter on you. And I get my autograph and she looks at me and she says, "Want some glitter?" And I said, no thank you, I don't need any glitter. And she goes, "Come on, take the glitter." I said, no thank you, I really don't need the glitter. And she's like, "Be a man, take the glitter." At this point, Princess Leia is standing there telling you you're not being a man if you don't take the glitter. How do you back down at this point? So I said, all right, I'll take the glitter. I have very hairy arms. Very hairy arms. Carrie Fisher takes both of her hands, puts it in glitter, and starts kneading glitter into my arms. Really hairy arms. I took about 3 showers before all that glitter came out. Like a couple days later, there were still traces of glitter in my arm hair. So, Carrie Fisher, that was, in fact, if you look at this autograph under the glass here, you could still see some Dip Run. The movie is called Dip Run. Okay, I'm going to write that down. Dip Run. I will look it up. But yeah, there's still actually some glitter trapped under the glass there. Absolutely. She was indeed one of a kind. I'm really curious to see how they're going to incorporate her into the next Star Wars movie. It's going to be very interesting. YouTuber by the name of Outlaw. I'm not familiar with Outlaw. my YouTube viewing, it kind of, my YouTube viewing kind of, it's like a family tree. You know, I watch this person, and that they introduce me to this person, they introduce me to this person. I love The Last Jedi too, man. I'm totally with you. But I started watching Dave, Cinema Sickness, and Adam the Woo. They were the first two guys. I've said this many times. They were the first two guys I ever clicked subscribe to. And at the time, I didn't know that Dave, Cinema Sickness, was in my area. I was just watching this guy in a big movie library filled with movies. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. I didn't realize he was a local guy. So the idea that he and I would be friends someday, that never occurred to me. And on the other hand, Adam the Woo, I watched him, and I thought, man, this guy's great. This guy's terrific. Adam was the first one I ever subscribed to. Dave was the second. So they were the first two. And then I found out that they had done videos together when Dave was in Disney World, which at the time I didn't know. So I'm like, oh, wait a minute. They know each other? And now I know both of them. And it's kind of a bizarre thing. It's a bizarre thing when you watch these guys on YouTube and you don't know them. You've never met them. They're strangers to you. They're just, every now and then the light dims on my phone, so I have to tap it to turn the light back on. But the next thing you know, you're friends with them. And you're like, that's strange. How did that happen? So it was through Dave I met Rick. It was through Adam the Woo that I met Sploor and Ryan and Adventures by George. And now I've never met them in person. I met Sploor and Ryan and Adventures by George in person. But although I've never met them in person, through Ryan and Adventures by George, I'm meeting their Florida crew. Most of whom I've never met in person, but we've become Facebook friends. We've gotten to know each other through Facebook. And that is like Negro Orlando, Sean, who is awesome. If you're not watching Negro Orlando, check him out. And super enthused, Jackie, she's great. But it's like a little, and through these live chats, I've started watching Martinez Joe. He's great. And it's funny because it's like, well, you meet this guy or you meet that guy, and then they introduce you to this guy. And now I can't keep up with all the videos I'm watching. I've been hearing rumors of a Last Starfighter sequel. That's another one. Last Starfighter sequel. I'm not going to believe it till I see it, like the He-Man movie. I keep hearing those rumors too, but it doesn't seem to go anywhere. See, now I sit down and I feel like I need a booster seat. Like, do I look ridiculous sitting down? Because it's because the tripod is on the bar. That's why. Oh, no problem, Martina. I didn't realize you were there, Martinez Joe. The scrolls come so quickly. But yeah, no, you have a great channel. And and Movie John's terrific. I can't keep up with everyone, quite frankly. I don't have enough hours in the day. Did you see Robert Englund return as Freddy? Yes. I am a Goldbergs fan, man. I love the Goldbergs. And at first, I didn't watch that show. And I kept hearing, oh, you got to see it. You got to see it. It's like, if you love the 80s, you love the Goldbergs. So at first I watched it, and I'm like, well, this is just kind of a typical cheesy sitcom. The only thing it has going for it, really, is the 80s references, because it's nothing special. But man, it grows on you. It really grows on you. It's got a, you know what? It's got a sincerity about it. It's got like a sweetness and a sincerity about it. So even when the jokes seem kind of corny and don't land, it's just likable. It's pretty cool that you can say Carrie Fisher touched you. Yes. Yes, I suppose it is. It's one of those things you don't think would happen when you're a little kid. You're like, oh, I bet Princess Leia's going to jam glitter on my arm someday. Oh, man. I feel like I'm going to lose my voice. It's crazy. I know I probably sound okay, but my voice is like, my throat is really not happy right now. Yeah, Goldberg's it totally has heart. That's why I really, and I don't watch a lot of like network sitcoms anymore. I think the only sitcoms I watch are the Goldbergs and It's Always Sunny, which is a cable sitcom, so that's kind of a different animal. Uh, is there anything else I watch? I watched New Girl on Fox. That's over now though, and How I Met Your Mother. Both of them outlived themselves though. They both lasted longer than they should have. They were both great shows that kind of ended. And it was like, well, this used to be a great show. I probably should wrap this up soon because my voice is going. I did watch The Office and Parks and Rec. I liked both of those. And Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I tried watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I couldn't get into it. Cheers is my all-time favorite sitcom. Cheers, I should rephrase that. Cheers was my all-time favorite sitcom. I always said there's no sitcom that compares to Cheers, in my mind. I don't think there ever will be. But I gotta say, yes, Boredom Strikes. You took the words right out of my mouth. Community. Community is the one that has kind of replaced Cheers. And hey, they're both a one-word title that starts with a C that aired on NBC. So there you go. Community is so great. I was actually just watching some episodes of Community the other day. I read an article, and the article claimed that the two worst. I love Night Court too, by the way, Jesse. The two worst seasons of Community were season 4 and 6. Now, I disagree with that because I think season 6 is actually terrific. I think it's one of the best seasons. How are the Community Blu-ray sets? Pretty fantastic. I highly recommend picking it up if you haven't already. It's pretty spectacular. But this guy writes this article saying season 4 and season 6 are the two worst seasons of Community. Now, I'll agree with him on season 4. That was the year Dan Harmon wasn't there. But I won't agree on season 6. But this guy picked the best episodes of the worst seasons. And I went back and watched some of those episodes again. And one of them was the season 4 episode where the dean threw a Sadie Hawkins dance and Britta thought it was a Sophie B. Hawkins dance. And it's the first episode where Brie Larson comes in as Abed's girlfriend Rachel. It was so funny, man. I'm watching it. I'm like, this is the worst season. This is the season nobody likes, and this is still hilarious. Really good stuff. A friend of mine pointed out Abed's girlfriend is Captain Marvel now, and Abed's best friend is Lando Calrissian. Said how would Abed feel knowing his best friend was Lando and his girlfriend was Captain Marvel? And I said, well, Abed is Batman now. That's a deep cut joke. You got to be a fan to get that one. You might like The Outlaw. I'll check him out. I definitely will. I should write that down too, because I say I definitely will, but I'll forget. Did I ever watch Charles in Charge? I actually own the first season of Charles in Charge on DVD, and I liked it when I was younger, but I don't think it's aged as well. I don't really care for it. Do I like Cool Duder and Wet Movie 1? I'll be honest with you, I've never seen Wet Movie 1. I've never seen him. Cool Duder? I saw him before I saw Cinema Sickness, actually. And one of my little things that I'll do is I'll tease Cinema Sickness and call him Cool Duder. Once, I don't know if it actually made it to a video or not, but once, we were all out hunting together. We went to Jake's. And then afterwards, we went to Arby's for lunch, and I was in a separate car. I was in a car with Rick. And I was getting out of Rick's car, and Cinema Sickness put the camera on my face as I was getting out of the car, and I just went, "Oh my God, you're that guy from YouTube, Cool Duder!" And he may have cut it. I don't know if he kept it in or not. I can't remember. It's been a year. But I don't watch him with any regularity. I can tell you that when Adam the Woo was here, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. When Adam the Woo was here, we got talking about Cool Duder because he's friends with him. And Adam just got out his phone and started playing Cool Duder videos, but only the intros because he wanted to hear him say, "This is Sean C. Phillips," and he thought he sounded like he was saying Chauncey Phillips, and every time he would say it, Adam would just crack up, and then he'd go to the next video and do it again and again. It was really funny. It was pretty funny. I gotta watch more of Cool Duder though. He seems like a decent guy. I haven't watched much of him though. You know who I haven't watched in a while? And again, it's time. It's all time. I don't have the time. I like these guys. I think they're great, but I don't watch them. Andre, the Black Nerd. Does anybody watch him? He's really funny. I like him. I met him at RetroCon a couple years ago, so he's actually been on this channel. I talked to him at RetroCon, and it was in one of my videos. But if you've never seen him, Andre the Black Nerd, or I think he calls himself Andre the Black Nerd or Andre Black Nerd Comedy, he's a funny guy. Very, very likable. Very charismatic. So he's someone I'd check out that he's certainly far more successful than I am. So I always say, yeah, it's weird when I recommend someone who's more successful than me because I'm like, well, if you're watching me, and I'm nobody. If you're watching me, then you probably heard about the guy who's got 10 times the subs that I have. I should do a video of all my movies. I've thought about it. But I've been trying to find my voice. Like what is unique about my channel? What is my channel that, what can I bring to the table that you're not going to see elsewhere? And Dave and Rick do the movie collections. This is what I picked up. This is what I bought. This is what I got. And that's fine. I certainly, I'm not criticizing that. I like that. Like I said, I was a fan of his before I never knew him. But I don't want to just kind of copy his style. And I got to tell you, I never heard of Gold Rush. Sorry, I'm answering some questions here too. No, I'm not familiar with that show. I haven't heard of it. But I don't want to copy Dave or Rick's style, quite frankly. So I was like, well, what can I bring to the table? And I think what I could bring to the table is I did a podcast first before I did this. I still do the podcast. And it was talking about movies, talking about TV, just discussion. Let's talk about what's out there. What did you think of The Last Jedi? I thought it was great. Here's why I thought it was great. This is what I didn't like. And whereas Dave is more like, hey, I was hunting. This is what I bought. I got this. This is a great movie. I got this. This is a great movie. And again, I'm not knocking that. Great format. I was a fan before I was ever knew him. I think I'm more the guy who wants to talk about movies. And I've been kind of trying to do that with this channel. I've been trying to make this the channel where we talk about movies. And hopefully it's working. Oh, thank you, Geriatric Greek. I really appreciate that. That means a lot to me. I think one thing I never want to say something is I don't want to praise something if I don't think it deserves praise. But the one thing I think is missing right now is some positivity. I like to be a little more positive because the internet has become a place anymore where people just trash things. I would love to hear you show us a movie you own and give us your thoughts about it. You can definitely do that. The one thing that's great about YouTube as opposed to podcasting is I can do this alone. I can stick a camera on me and talk and oh wow, Geriatric Geek, you are absolutely right. Negativity does sell. I did a video not long ago. It's It's one of the last videos I did where I'm talking about Star Trek the Animated Series, the new Star Trek Animated Series, Lower Decks, that's coming. And I mentioned a YouTube channel. Didn't say their names. I did not want to drive traffic to them. But this site is kind of like the bane of my existence because they're disingenuous. I really believe that. I believe they're making up outright negative lies as clickbait, and it's working. It's working. They've got crazy subs. They've got crazy amount of contributors on Patreon, and they're not giving factual information. They're spreading rumors at worst, but also just things that are provably wrong. If you do the research, you'll find what they're saying is absolutely incorrect. But they're putting it out there, and they have so many subs that it keeps getting parroted back in like online forums and Facebook groups, where people are like, well, you know, this is happening on Star Trek Discovery behind the scenes, and I know because I heard it on this video on this channel that shall not be named. And it just drives me crazy because the negativity, like you said, sells. People are clicking, people are watching, and people are believing everything they say, and it's blatantly false. Now, some of what they're saying is true. They pepper a little bit of truth in there, I guess, to help sell it. Because then if you do a little bit of research, you say, oh, look, they said this, and that is true. And then you swallow everything that they said, and it drives me crazy, man. And it drives me crazy that I'm trying to... Maybe there's a little bit of competitive jealousy there, because I'm trying to build a channel being honest. And these guys are going out there and just trashing everything and making up lies, and they're laughing all the way to the bank. They're getting subs, they're monetizing their videos, and it's like, I can't monetize, I don't have enough views yet. And it's like, wow. It drives me crazy. I think the Lower Decks series should span all of the different Trek time periods. I agree. That could be fun. That could be fun. Bad Boys 3 was announced. What are my thoughts? I never saw Bad Boys 1 and 2, I gotta be honest with you. I'm not a huge Michael Bay fan. I own them both, and one of these days I will watch them, but I haven't gotten to it yet. Toy Story 4. What are my thoughts on Toy Story 4, Steven asks. I am going to be there opening day. It's Pixar rarely lets you down. A lot of people say Cars 2 is the worst Pixar movie. I actually think it's Ratatouille. I know that's a controversial statement. A lot of people like Ratatouille. I don't like Ratatouille. But mostly, I like everything Pixar does. Apparently, Tom Hanks got pretty choked up recording some dialogue for Toy Story 4. They said he couldn't even make eye contact with the people in the recording booth. So I like Cool Duder. I comment on his videos sometimes, and he always comments back. I'll have to start watching Cool Duder. I mean, he seems... I mean, I've seen him, but I don't watch him with regularity. Oh, man. I am getting sick, and I know it. You know, he's a low... I've seen that. Yeah, I saw he did a couple low-budget horror things. Wet Movie 1 never comments back. I think I got a comment from Wet Movie 1 in a Facebook group that we're both members of. But like I said, I've never actually watched Wet Movie 1. And it wasn't like his Facebook group either. I just think we're both happened to be members of it, and I said something and he responded. And I'm like, hey, aren't you Wet Movie 1? By the way, crazy question. What does his name mean? Wet Movie 1. Why is the movie wet? Does that have a... does the name have a significance? Maybe I gotta watch his channel. Maybe I watch his channel and it all becomes clear. But I never understood the name. Wet Movie 1. I don't know. Who am I to question a guy who's got that many subs, though, right? He knows better than I do. Believe me, I I recognize that. Sorry to keep drinking. This throat is killing me, man. I have wondered that too. It does not compute. So if I were going to talk about movies that I love, where would I start? I don't even think he knows what it means. All right. Hold your questions for just a minute. I am going to step off camera for just a minute and grab a DVD. Then we'll talk about a movie. Or should I be doing this on a live stream? Should this be something that's like its own individual video? I don't know. I don't know. Give me a second. Favorite decade for movies? 80s. 80s. That's my favorite decade. All right. I got a movie here. Some of you may be familiar with it. I'm willing to bet a lot of you are not because it's not the most famous movie around. 1998. One of my all-time favorite movies. I've watched this movie more times than I can count. I have the poster for this movie hanging in my house upstairs, autographed by the director and two of the actors. Free Enterprise. Free Enterprise. If you've never seen Free Enterprise, this is a movie I can't recommend enough. I have so much love for this movie. It was written and directed, well, it was written by a guy named Mark Altman. It was written by Mark Altman and Robert Meyer Burnett. And it's directed by Robert Meyer Burnett. Robert Meyer Burnett has his own YouTube channel. You can find him. The director of this movie has his own YouTube channel. What's it called? It's called... I can't remember. I'm sorry. But he does have a channel. This movie is Swingers with Star Trek fans. That's the best way I can describe it. Swingers with Star Trek fans. How do they describe it in here? Swingers meets Play It Again Sam, a very funny comedy about geeks in love who never make a movie without consulting their inner Kirk for guidance. William Shatner stars in this as William Shatner. It's the guy from Will and Grace. I'm blanking on his name. Mark something. Eric McCormick. His name is Mark in the movie. Excuse me. His character's name is Mark. These guys, they're two guys in their 30s living in LA. They both dream of making movies, and they're both hardcore Star Trek fans. One day, by chance, they run into William Shatner in a bookstore. He's their idol. They meet William Shatner and they find out he's a complete weirdo, and he has a dream of making a musical version of Julius Caesar, a one-man show where he'll play all the parts. This movie is hilarious. One of the reasons I love this movie so much is that it really rings true to me. The characters in this movie, I recognize them. They remind me of people I know. I see a lot of myself in the main character of Robert. I see a lot of my best friend Dave Perillo in some of these characters. I see people that I've known, people that I've hung out with, people that I've gone to school with. They're all in these characters. And there's a movie called Fanboys, which is a lot more famous than Free Enterprise. And Fanboys is a movie I actually can't stand because I feel like the comedy is too silly. Like, I watch Fanboys and I'm like, it's a little too goofy. Like, I don't recognize those people. And I always say, well, Free Enterprise did this better. Free Enterprise did this much better. And it's not even a Star Wars versus Star Trek thing. It's just these guys seemed more real, more genuine. So that's a movie that I recommend highly. Fanboys is Seth Rogen type of... Yeah, and Seth Rogen's actually in the movie. But and actually, William Shatner's in both movies. But this movie, I think, does it a lot better. I also say this movie, I always recommend this movie when I'm talking about The Big Bang Theory. I don't know how people feel about The Big Bang Theory, but I can't stand The Big Bang Theory for the same reasons I'm saying about Fanboys. I feel like I don't recognize those characters. I hang out with nerdy people, I hang out with geeky people, and I don't know many people that are as ridiculously socially awkward as the characters on The Big Bang Theory. I feel like The Big Bang Theory is not a show so much celebrating nerds and geeks. It's a show making fun of them. Like it really feels like Urkel or Screech all over again to me. So I always say if you want a show about like geeky people that gets it right, this movie does it much better than The Big Bang Theory ever could, in my opinion, personally speaking. I think the DVD is out of print. You might be able to find it used on Amazon. There's two different versions. There's the original version, which was put out by Pioneer, and this, what you're seeing here, is the Love Long and Party Extended Edition. And I agree, Jesse. I agree. But yeah, that's a movie that I love that I don't think a lot of people have seen. Free Enterprise. And my movie poster that is hanging upstairs is signed by the director Robert Burnett, and it's also signed by William Shatner and Phil Lamar, who voice actor Phil Lamar. You may know him from Mad TV, Futurama. He's in the movie, and he signed the poster. And there's not a lot of posters for Free Enterprise out there. It's not something you see very often. I actually got it directly from the director, Rob Burnett. And when I went to a convention and unrolled that poster in front of Phil Lamar, his eyes like lit up and he was like, "Oh my God, a Free Enterprise poster." I don't think anyone had ever asked him to sign a Free Enterprise poster before. Hello, Joey Baseball. Welcome. Welcome to the live stream. And how long have we been going here? We've been going almost an hour. I really should. Where's the cat? Good question. He's actually asleep. I could see him. He's on the couch. He is getting hair all over my Force Awakens pillow. Did you ever see Stay Tuned? That's a really fun movie. That is a fun movie. That was, I remember when that first came out. That was pretty fun. So I am going to have to wrap this up soon because we've been going for almost an hour and my throat is actually getting worse as we go along. I'm definitely getting sick, which is inconvenient. Very inconvenient. I don't really have sick time I could be taking at work right now. So I don't know how this is going to work, but there it is. Feel better. Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate it. Welcome to flu season. I have had my flu shot. I have lucked out. I haven't gotten sick for a while. I really have. Joey, I can't take NyQuil. NyQuil messes with me. I get these really bad like NyQuil hangovers the next day, and it's just like, I guess it's fine if I don't have to go to work, but if I have to go to work, man, I'm just like, I'm off all day. And it's not just drowsiness, because even when I'm awake, I just feel like I'm not quite connected. Is CS sick too? I didn't see most of his live stream. I saw a little bit, but I was on the great TV hunt for most of it. Whew. Take oregano oil. Huh. I never heard that. I don't know if we have oregano oil in the house. I may be going to get some tomorrow. I'll give it a shot. I'll try anything. What the heck? Maybe, what do we have here? No. I got stuff just This bar is a mess. C.S. Crush do a live stream with Cool Duder about movie 1, Adam the Woo. I'd be on board for that. I don't know that we'd get all those people in one place, unless if we were like at a convention or something. But Adam and I, well, I don't know. I haven't talked to Adam. So I'm assuming, I'm making an assumption here, but I'm assuming that Adam and I and Ryan, Exploring Ryan, and Adventures by George, I'm assuming that the four of us are all going to be at Dragon Con this year. I am definitely going to be at Dragon Con this year. Dragon Con 2019, so actually Dragon Con next year. I'll definitely be there. Ryan and Adventures by George have both indicated they're going to be there. Adam hasn't specifically told me he's going to be there because other than a couple brief emails, we haven't actually spoken since he was in Philly. But I'm assuming he's going to be there. So I'm sure there'll be some live stream shenanigans this coming August, September when we're all in Atlanta together. I'm trying to get Cinema Sickness to go. So far, he's not really a convention guy, and I don't know. Dragon Con, you kind of gotta be a convention guy for Dragon Con. I don't know. I'd love to get him there, but we'll see. One of these days. I don't know that it's going to be 2019 though. Shenanigans. Has anyone seen Teen Titans Go to the Movies? There's a great song about shenanigans in that movie. I don't know how, Joe, what is my most anticipated movie in the coming months? This year, Aquaman. Bar none, Aquaman. It wouldn't have been my most anticipated movie of 2018 as a whole. That would have been probably Solo or Infinity War. But of the movies left this year, definitely Aquaman, without question. My most anticipated film of 2019, above all others, is Shazam, which is opening in April 2019. So, the two DC movies, which not necessarily cause they're DC movies, it's actually more coincidence than anything else. Is Aquaman going to be in his orange suit? Yes, he is. He's wearing it in the trailers and some of the action. Excuse me. I will only watch if Aquaman has his orange and green. He does have it. He is wearing it. It's in the trailers. He's absolutely wearing it. I'm so excited for Aquaman. Number one, I've always loved the character. And number two, it's James Wan. It's James Wan doing Aquaman. How much of the movie is he going to be wearing the orange suit? I don't know. That I don't know. But I think he wears it when he takes the throne, basically. I think, the movie, he's got to basically take the throne and become king of Atlantis. And I think he puts it on when he takes the throne. That's my guess. I don't know. I really don't. My favorite version of Aquaman is the animated version voiced by John DiMaggio on Batman Brave and the Bold. He was always saying, outrageous. I love that version. I feel like he's only going to wear it in the last 5 minutes of the movie. I'd say probably 20 to 15 minutes. I think you probably get it for like the final battle or something. I'm okay with the look he sported in Justice League, though, because that does have bearing in the comics, too. He kind of went with the, bare-chested look all throughout the 90s, too. I don't think I could ever be superhero fatigued. The superhero movies are my favorites. Well, maybe that's not true. Maybe the Star Wars movies are my favorites. But the superhero movies are right up there. The Muppet movies are my favorites. We need more Muppet movies. That's what we need. Let's get Muppet Movie 9 going. That's the next one, right? It would be the Muppet Movie 9. I'm confident that's correct. All right, guys. I am going to wrap this up. All right, I need to wrap this up because I can't talk anymore. We'll have to do this again soon, but probably not too soon because I have a feeling in the morning I'm not going to be able to speak. My voice is, my throat is really killing me. So that's probably going to make everyone in my family very happy. They're going to be like, yay, he finally shut up. So I'll talk to you later. Yeah, well, you know what, Joey? This was very impromptu. I wasn't planning to do a live stream. It basically was my TV's broken. I can't watch TV. My wife went to bed, so I wasn't going to watch TV with her. I wasn't going to watch it by myself in the basement because that TV's broken. And it just was, I watched the very, very, very end of Cinema Sickness and Rick, and I'm like, oh, what the heck? I'll go live now. But yeah, we do need to plan something out. I have thoughts, ideas on how to maybe cultivate a live stream, maybe weekly. I have ideas, and maybe one of these days I'll put these ideas into action. For those of you just joining us, I said earlier in the stream, I feel totally rattled anymore. Like my brain is just jumble. So I do need to get going. Keep wearing those pajamas, and thanks for watching. I appreciate it. It means a lot. So keep wearing those pajamas.